As a child who originates from a strong Christian household, I have heard all my life that the Lord has a plan. Growing up, I heard more than a million times, "Give your pain and worries to God, for He will provide and take care of you." Saying and doing are completely different tasks. In the years 2004 through 2007, my mother had to carry out her advice. The setting was at Augustana College when my mom decided to go back to school. My mother is the strongest and most influential person in my life. First, I will discuss my mother's decision to go back to college. Then I will discuss the mountains she has climbed over those years, and lastly, how far she has come and where she is today. Music has surrounded me for as long as I can remember. When I was a little girl, my mother, at the time Mady Pravecek, was a stay-at-home mother, and she gave kids piano lessons. She had close to 30 kids that she would teach. She always played piano for our church's worship team as well. Music filled our home, whether that be listening to the radio while baking cookies or listening to my mother teach a child to play a little jingle on the piano. Music was a huge deal to my mother, and she always says, music is what makes us human. She loves kids and loves music, which would mean she would make a pretty good music teacher, right? Well, after high school, she attended USD for her business and marketing degree. In 2005, she filed papers for divorce. This part of my life, because I was so young, was tremendously difficult. I was in the second grade at the time, and comprehending that now I will have 2 houses and 2 Christmases was far beyond me. My mother got custody of us 3 kids and made the decision to go back to college to get her music education degree. She got accepted into Augustana College and was a full-time student and mother. How she dealt with the divorce, college, and parenting is incomprehensible. With much praying, my mother was lucky to land a family housing apartment right there on campus. We 3 kids lived with my mother in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment. I was technically a college student when I was in 2nd grade. We kids were always around the college students, whether it be eating supper with them in the commons, having them babysit us for a couple hours, or being in band rehearsals. My mother had a lot of logistics to cover as a single mom going back to school. Those years were tough, and we kids were too young to understand that this was how things had to be. My mother always said, "This is only temporary, don't worry, God will provide." Sure enough, He does provide. The school situation was a little sticky to begin with. Dawson, my younger brother, was preschool age at the time. There was a church preschool on campus that Dawson was told he couldn't enter because there was no more room. A couple weeks later, my mother received a call that a child canceled enrollment and they could take Dawson. Because my sister and I couldn't have gone to class with my mother, we were sent to a daycare after school. And if it was my dad's day, he would come pick us up. Dealing with schoolwork and being a mother is hard enough, and to add to the mess, I can remember a time when someone came to our apartment and told us that the bills for our vehicle weren't being paid for and that we had to file for bankruptcy. Come to find out, my father wasn't paying any of the car payments, which also makes you question how my mom paid for school. Well, she received a lot of scholarships and grants, and financial help from my grandparents. This is when a very special friend, who my mom is now married to, comes into the equation. Ken Bernstein and my mom had known each other for years due to church worship team. Ken loaned my mother money to be able to get a car for her and us kids. Ken had gone through his own divorce at this point and was trying to raise his 5 children. What amazes me about my mother is that dealing with all this, she still found time to be a mom. I can remember building a snow bunny, not man, bunny, outside during winter with her, and I can remember going to the Augie track and field to have fun with her while she walked. She attended all of us kids' school events and was even my older sister's volleyball coach. When one of us was sick with the flu or strep throat, we slept in one of my mother's college professor's office while she was in class. She found time to be a mom and to be involved around the college. My mother was involved in so much in college. She made top band every year, and she was in jazz band as a piano player. For a while, I remember her even working at Jones Eye Clinic in Sioux Falls to accumulate some income. She graduated in 2007 with the honor of summa cum laude, which is receiving a 4.0 in college, and her degree to be a music educator. Looking back at those hard years for my mother came a lot of excitement as she started a new chapter of her life. Soon after my mother graduated, Ken and she got married, and we became a blended family with 8 children. She landed a job in Tripp, South Dakota as a band director, and we moved to Freeman, South Dakota. If anyone knows my mom, you know that she's crazy and over the top. She once had kids dance to Michael Jackson's Thriller during a marching band competition, and she even put on a halftime performance at a football game that was Disney-themed. She built a big Disney castle and had fireworks at the end of the game. After 4 years in Tripp, she worked for Dallas Brass, which is a world-renowned brass group. After she worked for them for a year, she went back to Tripp to be a chorus director, then went on to Parkson for band, and now finally is in Freeman, where we live. Right now, she is the grade school music teacher and also teaches 5th through 8th grade math. Life is full of struggles, and my mother is a prime example of how one's faith carries them through difficult times. So many doors opened for her once she was determined on the path God led her down. Between a divorce, a job, being a full-time college student, and being a mother, she accomplished it all. She is an amazing woman who I look up to, and she does the best she can all the time. God will provide. And in my mom's case, God did provide. Congratulations, Mady Bernstein, on your accomplishments. I am very proud to call you my mother, and you are a role model to everyone you encounter. My mother is the most influential person in my life, and without her, I wouldn't be the person I am today.